And the older I get, the more I realize that I know I'm never gonna be better than my dad, and that I'm okay with that, right? But you realize that most men in general will never be better than their fathers, right? And I know some people might disagree with that, but the father son relationship is a very unique relationship. Okay, there's a special metamorphosis that has to happen in a boy, between a boy in his development to adulthood. Okay, and it's different for both boys and girls. It's not the same thing, right? There's a psychological architecture that you need to be mindful of, especially when it comes to that son and father relationship. Okay, there's okay there's two psychological detachments that children experience as they grow up, right? There's two main psychological detachments that happen. Okay, the first detachment or separation, mental separation, is when a baby is in the womb. When a baby is still in its mother's womb, it it still thinks that that womb is part of who they are, because they don't know anything else, right? The baby's in the womb and they think that that womb, right, the little bubble that they're in, the baby thinks that that's part of their identity, that that's part of their body, right? They don't know that there's an outside world, right? Then when they're born, right, the baby comes out, there comes a time where they realize, oh, I'm not my mom, right? My mom's over there and I'm over here, right? We're two separate entities, right? The psyche realizes, oh, that detachment means that my mom is a different person. I'm over here, she's over there. And that's a perfectly healthy detachment. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You're supposed to go through this realization, right? It's part of being it's part of development. It's part of knowing situational awareness. Hey, you're not your mom. You're two different entities, right? You were inside her for 9 months, but now you're your own being, right? That's the first psychological detachment. And this is experienced by both boys and girls. Now, the second psychological detachment is a little bit different. The second psychological detachment is only experienced by boys. It's not experienced by girls. Okay? The second psychological detachment can be a wounding experience to the psyche. Okay? The second separation is when the boy, remember this is specifically to boys, the boy realizes that they're not like their mom, right? The first psychological detachment is, I'm not my mom, right? They're two separate entities. The second one is, I'm not like her, meaning biologically, I'm not like her, right? A little girl doesn't have this realization, right? She doesn't look at her mom and say, hey, I'm not like my mom, right? She only goes through the first detachment, the first separation, where she realizes, okay, me and my mom are separate entities, but I'm still like her, right? We're of the same biological order. We're talking biological here, right? We're the same biology, right? A boy, however, has a second realization, a second psychological detachment or separation, where he realizes, hey, I'm not like my mom. Not only are we separate, right? We're separate beings, right? I thought being in this womb was part of who I was. Now I'm out, right? We're separate beings, but I'm not like her. She's biologically different, right? And this realization usually happens when the boy is in its infant stages and developing the ego, right? Of course, a lot of this is subconscious or unconscious, right? When the baby's growing up, you realize, oh, I'm not like my mom. We're not biologically the same way. And that's when the baby boy realizes this, there is an automatic there's an automatic yearning to know what their identity is. Okay, if I'm not like my mom, then who am I? Okay, this is why when you have a missing father in the household, it leads to a baby boy looking for male approval or male identity in all the wrong places, right? They're seeking approval for all the wrong places, and you see a lot of fatherless boys that are looking for surrogate families, or they're looking for a sense of identity by joining gangs or um, being insecure about their masculinity because they didn't have that father figure there. So they try to overcompensate in different ways and in all the wrong places, right? When a baby boy doesn't have a father figure to say, "Oh, I'm like my father biologically," right? It can create a lot of turmoil, right? This second detachment is only experienced by boys, right? Not the girls. And the mommy love, the mommy love that's there can't really help you. Okay? A boy needs male presence in their childhood. All right? And I'm not saying the female presence is better or worse, it's just different, right? A baby boy needs a male presence in his childhood.